Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Really happy to have you all here. I'm Gabriel Cumage. I'm from the French Treasury, working with international financing, and we're very happy today to have Minister Betty Maina, who's responsible for trade, industry, and has a rich career in both entrepreneurship and private sector and the public sector in Kenya. I won't be much longer than that. As you know, President Uhuru Kenyatta was the guest of honor in Big today, alongside with President Emmanuel Macron. And just to say that, of course, Kenya is a business-friendly country. It's established itself with a long tradition of welcoming entrepreneurs from all over the world, and also as a hub and as an anchor for the sub-region and Eastern Africa. And I would say just in front of that, France has definitely pivoted in the last couple of years to say that East Africa, and particularly Kenya, should be at the core of the global, open, liberal world order that President Macron and France are pushing for. Which means also that we need to go for partnerships, and there is definitely a Franco-Kenyan or Kenya-French partnership in the making. Probably you've seen that there has been a number of agreements signed yesterday by the Ministers of Finance under the auspices of President Macron and President Kenyatta. But this is not to say that from the French point of view, this partnership should be only public-based, right? The government-to-government agreements and partnership are only supposed to be there at the umbrella for all entrepreneurs, be them East African entrepreneurs or French entrepreneurs, to make business and to innovate from Kenya, and with dual locations like Paris and Nairobi. So with that, I'll just leave the floor to Minister, and then we will have a number of testimonies from both Kenyan entrepreneurs and officials and French entrepreneurs, and the floor will be open for a few questions at the end. I'll just ask you to be brief in the interventions because Minister has other obligations afterwards, but then the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, and thank you to all of you who have come here to join us today. I understand that this is being beamed, so part of the reason why we're listening through the earphones is so that others in another room and around the building can pick us. It's a joy for us to be here. We have many French companies that have recently set up in Kenya, Gabriel, but we would like more. We have seen French presence in many other countries, so we've come to encourage you, even if we do not speak French that much and you do not speak Swahili, somehow we shall communicate. Kenya is a very exciting country in East Africa, almost the size of France when I look at the geographical area. We also have a very strong base in agriculture, which I notice is a very strong base here in France, except you're used to subsidies from the European Union. We don't have those subsidies, so you'll have to be very competitive, and we've seen a lot of French agricultural products come into Kenya. So our invitation to the French companies is to consider setting up in Kenya. When I look at our exports to France, they are mostly agricultural goods. And I'm sure if I go to the supermarket, I'll find some of beans and other goods. A lot of your exports to Kenya are machinery and capital goods. So our invitation to your firms is to join us. As the President said, We have a very young population that is tech savvy, so you have an opportunity to expand in your investments and in your presence in technology. So I think all I can say at this point is that, and we would like to invite ourselves to speak, we'll invite your businesses to speak to us. I am accompanied here by Kenyan business leaders from the chairman of the stock exchange, the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, the CEO of the the stock exchange. Now I can't see you guys with your masks, huh? And various investors. We also have a member of parliament. But Gabriel, we have our Minister for Finance here, the Honorable Ukur Yatani. So you have a very large selection of Kenyan business. We'll also be meeting with MEDEF tomorrow. So I don't know, the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. President, would you like to say just something? And please don't speak without a speech. Just say two things in
All right, thank you very much, CS Betty Minor, Ministry of Trade and Industry, CS Yakur of National Treasury, and business leaders. I want also to thank the business community and business leaders from the French country for having us here. It is very important for you to note that we have taken a lot of courage as the private sector to come all the way to France to look for opportunities that are available. Because of this pandemic and this COVID-19 pandemic and the disruption that has been there globally, we have seen most companies in Kenya re-engineer their processes. We have seen a lot of SMEs also looking for opportunities, and therefore this is the reason we are here. We would like to encourage all these French companies to come and pitch up in Kenya, come and take up the opportunities within the special economic zones so that you can set up most of your businesses, particularly the automobile, and you will be reaching out, of course, to the region. We also want to encourage you to come and look at the opportunities available in water and sanitation. We are looking also at making sure that we partner with yourselves under the public partnerships, that is a PPP, on smart cities. We have a couple of smart cities around coming up in our country, and those are opportunities that are available for you. We are also here as the private sector to look at what opportunities we can also look at here. We are looking at e-commerce, we are looking at fintech. You are aware, it's a fact that Kenya is actually one of the best countries that innovated one of the best apps, and that in terms of money transfer, that is M-Pesa. We are looking at more apps which include the health sector, particularly in telemedicine. We are looking at also logistics, and we are here to come and make sure that that partnership is solidified, as you have heard the heads of states mention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think, one of the key points here is that there is a shared understanding that the world of tomorrow, both presidents talked about, will be also about environmental aspects. Typically, Madam Minister, you've been active in that field also. And as you said, that the development of public-private partnerships are definitely a way to go forward in the world for tomorrow, where all of us will have also budgetary constraints, but we need to continue investing and continue pushing forward the private sector. With that, I think the idea that there is a short presentation that should be made and that you will be able to watch on your screens regarding some testimonials by French companies active in Kenya, and overall how Kenyan authorities and Kenya sees itself as the land of opportunities and of attractiveness.
Okay, thank you and good morning. I'll correct a bit the presentation. First, we shall have a presentation on the investment environment in Kenya. Just to give you some highlights on what is it about Kenya, what can you expect when you talk of doing business with Kenya. And just to the first slide in this presentation, is giving you Kenya at a glance. For most of you or some of you who have not visited Kenya before, Kenya is in the eastern part of Africa. It is bordering the Indian Ocean. Kenya has a land area almost 3/4 of France. Kenya is 582,650 square kilometers. We have a population of 47 million people. This figure is very important because it gives you the kind of market you expect when you come to Kenya, but it is more than that. The population structure, as you can see, 40% of the Kenya's population is between the age of 0 to 14. 35% is between the age of 15 to 35 years.
I understand you.
And 21% is in the age of 36 to 64 years. This figure gives you an impression that between the age of 15 and 64 years, that is a very active working population. Then we have the official language is English. We have a political system, which is, we have a devolved state, multi-party democracy with 47 counties. And then Kenya lies on the equator and enjoys a varied climate ranging from tropical to temperate. For those of you who have never stood along the equator, when you come to Kenya, you'll have the opportunity to stand exactly there. The Kenyan economy, the GDP is around 97 billion US dollars. And then, go back a bit. I'm just giving you a Kenya at a glance. The growth, the GDP growth as of last year, it was 5.4%. We had a projection of higher than that, but we know the situation we are in within the COVID era, that projection might not work as we expected. And then you can see we have an exchange rate of $1 going for 100 Kenya shillings. What else would you like to know about Kenya? The strong market access and good trade relations. We have, Kenya has signed preferential trading arrangement with very many countries across the world. What does that mean? When you invest in Kenya and when you do business with Kenya, you have access to the market in the USA under the African Growth and Opportunities Act. You have the market to the EU under the Economic Partnership Agreement with the EU. You have access to the market, to the common market for Southern Africa, around 21 countries within that region, which when you are in Kenya, you have access to that market. And then of late, we have the African Continental Free Trade Area, which has just come on board. And by doing business in Kenya and investing in Kenya, you have access to the entire African market. Let's move on. How does Kenya and France trade statistics show? Trade between Kenya and France has been on an upward trend. And as you can see, the main exports from Kenya to France, they include mainly agricultural produce, vegetables, fruits, cut flowers, and coffee. Those are key among our exports to France. And what do we import from France? We have machinery, medicament, that is medicine, data processing machines, and food preparations. We buy a lot of tractors, or we import a lot of tractors also, or vehicles from France. And then how is Kenya's business environment for those who want to have a feel? In Kenya, we have a large, young, and educated population. For the French investors who want to come to Kenya, you are assured of highly skilled manpower. We have, the skill is associated with the literacy level, which we have 81% total adult literacy level, and the population of between 15 to 64 years, which I said is the most productive population, is 57%. So you can see you have a working, healthy population. In the area of IT, we know that Kenya is very well known for the financial technologies, which are mainly attributed to the M-Pesa, mobile money transfer, which has expanded the space of the Kenyan market, and everybody, almost 81% of Kenyan population, they can operate on the M-Pesa platform. And through the other innovations, we have investments and insurance, which can be done on these mobile platforms. And then some of the best performance ratings of Kenya globally. First of all, we have Kenya being ranked as the first for the last 3 years in the financial inclusion. Because as we talk about the mobile money system and everybody being able to participate in the financial system, I think it's one of the good indicators of an economy that is integrated and working in an inclusion way. Kenya has been ranked first globally in the protection of minority investors. It doesn't matter whether you are a big investor or a small investor, but your investment is protected at all levels. Nairobi is ranked as one of the leading business travel destinations as of 2019. I think this ranking, we expect it to continue. What does this mean? You can come to Nairobi for both leisure and business. Kenya is the only Microsoft testing center in Africa. It means in the area of technology, you have a base to connect with the rest of the world. There are so many accolades that Kenya has of now, but I think we can mention only those and then we move on. We shall share with you the full slides. How do you know that your investments are safe in Kenya? Kenya is a signatory of a number of international and regional investment protection agreements. And in this case, briefly, you can see Kenya is a member of the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. Kenya is a member of the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Kenya is a member of the African Trade Insurance Agency, and so many others. What does it mean? If you invest in Kenya and you have any issue to raise about your investment and your interaction with the business community, you have platforms through which you can raise issues and they can be sorted out. We are talking about attracting French businesses into Kenya. We already have a number of French businesses in Kenya, and you can see that is just a sample of the French companies that are operating in Kenya. We have Total, we have Allianz, we have Société Générale, we have Air France, and all of those are already operating there. They can give testimonials on their operations in the country. Where do we have investment opportunities in Kenya? Generally, we say we have opportunities for investment and doing business in all sectors, starting from tourism, oil and gas, manufacturing sector, business processing and offshore business, financial services, blue economy, trade, and agriculture. Some of the CEOs we have here, they represent those sectors, and you can engage with them to get more information about the investment opportunities in their respective sectors. What are the immediate priority areas for business and investment in Kenya? Currently, the government is implementing what we call the Big Four agenda. The Big Four agenda targets 4 key sectors that we expect they can meaningfully, or they will meaningfully contribute to employment creation, income, and overall development of the economy. The sectors are manufacturing, food security, affordable housing, universal health coverage. These are not limited. We have a whole range of other sectors which are referred to as the enablers. And these sectors all include infrastructure, ICT, we have education and skills development, and so many others which go hand in hand to facilitate the investments and manpower development and use in the country. What are some of the incentives that we have as a country to investors? I'll not go through all this, but you realize that we have the export processing zones incentives. If you come to Kenya, you want to invest under the export processing zones arrangement, there are a number of incentives that you'll have access to, and they'll help you settle. We have a mechanism, an institutional arrangement that will help investors in this area to do business and invest in Kenya. We have the special economic zones arrangement, which has also a wide range of opportunities that investors can take advantage of. For more information, actually what I'm doing is we are rushing because of time, but if you go to the e-opportunities portal under https://opportunitiesinvest.go.ke, you'll get a lot of information on investment opportunities in Kenya, including ready projects and sectors where you can easily plug and continue. We have the Kenya Investment Authority, which is a one-stop shop for Kenya to facilitate investors who want to come and do business in Kenya. With those few remarks, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director. I think, this was the very thorough presentation of all the opportunities in Kenya. And with that, we're a little bit tight on schedule, but I will ask you to welcome Mr. Paul Langlois-Marine, who's General Manager of Optimetrics, which is a young company active both in France and in Kenya. And I will just ask you, Mr. Langlois-Marine, to be very brief, only a few words, the idea being showing to other French entrepreneurs how you can